Today we're heading to Modern to try to hit our opponent with Argentum Armors and World Slayers with the help of the new Lord of the Rings enchantment, Forge Anew. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Much Ado About Nothing. And we have a super sweet one this week. We are heading to Modern to play Forge Anew Reanimator, a deck that I think it might be kind of good, and it is also super hilarious. Gets to play a bunch of big, wacky equipment that you wouldn't see in any other deck in Modern. So let's talk about Forge Anew Reanimator, what the deck's trying to do, jump into a Modern League and see it in action. So we start with our namesake card, Forge Anew, one of the Lord of the Rings cards I'm most hyped for in Modern. So 3-mana enchantment, when it ETBs your Reanimate equipment, during your turn you can equip it instant speed, and you can pay 0 rather than the equip cost for your first equip ability. So essentially, this gives you, for 3 mana, a free equipment for your graveyard, free equipping of the equipment, and some really sweet instant speed equipping shenanigans. So what are we trying to do with this deck? Well, first, we're trying to get big equipment in the graveyard. For this, we have a ton of different cards. One of the upsides of this deck is we have Stoneforge Mystic, the best equipment tutor, but Goblin Engineer's almost another Stoneforge Mystic, since Forge Anew can reanimate the equipment anyway, so we can tutor our equipment into the graveyard and get it back. So those help us find our equipment, then Voldaren, Epicure, Seasoned Pyromancer fill our graveyard with equipment. Because in our ideal world, we want to have something like Cauldron Complete, Batterskull, Argentum Armor, World Slayer, Colossus Hammer, or maybe Shadow Sphere in the graveyard on turn 3. Really, the first 4 are the big ones. Like, you know Cauldron Complete, it's just a hasty 5/5 indestructible trample first strike, bunch of shenanigans there. One of the tricks with Forge Anew actually is, let's say we play Goblin Engineer on turn 2, to put a Cauldron Complete in the graveyard. On turn 3, we reanimate Cauldron Complete, we go to combat, we swing with both creatures, Cauldron Complete hits for 5 first with first strike, and then we can move Cauldron Complete for free at instant speed onto the Goblin Engineer and hit for 6 more normal damage. Batterskull, just a bunch of life gain. Maybe my favorite equipment in the deck though are Argentum Armor and World Slayer. Argentum Armor is a ridiculous card. It's 6 to cast, 6 to equip, gives a creature +6/+6, and when it attacks you get to blow up any permanent including lands. So this is a card that no other Modern deck can possibly play, but it's actually insane in our deck. This gives us lines where we can like do that same trick. Turn 1 or turn 2 rather, Goblin Engineer, put Argentum Armor in the graveyard, turn 3 Forge Anew, reanimate Argentum Armor, equip it for free to Goblin Engineer, attack, blow up your land, essentially just lock you out of the game. World Slayer is kind of a meme card. If it connects, it blows up all permanents. We aren't really heavily built around it. Like, mostly we're hoping that we can do the Forge Anew thing, put it on an unblocked creature, hit, blow up everything, and then we rebuild faster than our opponent because our deck's efficient. The one kind of combo we have is Cauldron Complete, which is indestructible. So if we Cauldron Complete first and then put World Slayer on it with Forge Anew, we have this indestructible 5/5 that's just going to keep hitting, and after everything's blown up, it's going to win us the game. So that's essentially the plan of the deck. We also have Colossus Hammer because it's really good with Forge Anew, and +10/+10 is a lot. We're not a hammer time deck. We only have 2 hammers, but that is a thing that'll come up sometimes. As far as the rest of the deck, Giver of Runes for protection, Esper Sentinel for card draw, Sigarda's Aid for more free equipping in the mana base, Urza Saga, another way to find our equipment, Inkmoth Nexus can one-shot with hammer and also just an evasive attacker, bunch of fetch lands, some fast lands, some basic lands in the sideboard, Pithing Needle Relic to find with Urza Saga, also Goblin Engineer, Sanctifier Invect for graveyards, Hallowed Moonlight to fight against the Archon of Cruelty decks, Blacksmith Skill, actually another combo with World Slayer. We can like attack and get in the hit and then make something indestructible to keep it around. March Otherworldly, Light Path for removal, Blood Moons to just kind of get decks playing Primeval Titantron. And that is Forge Anew Reanimator for Modern. That's our Much Ado deck for today. So let's jump into a Modern League and see how it turns out. Oh yeah, I should also say the first match of our video is not from a league. We play a full league, but I replaced one of the matches. And the reason is I forgot to turn my mic on for the first match of the league, so it's just my face talking, but you can't hear anything. So I replaced that with a match. We did win the first match of the league, though, but you'll see that as we go along. So anyway, that's Forge Anew. That's our deck for today. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the insanity, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap-up. Need some magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/MTG Goldfish. It is Forge Anew time, and Urza Saga.game. Sand isn't close to doing what we want to do, but sometimes Urza Saga just wins. I want to do something more. Oh dear. Oh god. Actually, we have Sigarda's Aid Colossus Hammer. That's not our main game plan. We're not just a hammer time deck, but we are also not above just putting a hammer on a Voldair and Epicure and making you die. What should we put to the bottom, chat? What do you think, YouTube? What is the worst card in this hand? Yeah, I think it's got to be World Slayer. We really never want World Slayer in our, almost never want World Slayer in our opening hand. It's more to tutor up with our Goblin Engineer and get people by surprise. Opponent's going to 4, which 3. Okay, so this either means we are playing a super unlucky opponent or we're about to die to Tron on turn 3. One or the other. No middle ground. Either our opponent is super bad at getting a functional hand or we're dead. I miss the days when I was actually happy when our opponent mulliganed to 3. Now I just assume it's Tron and they're gonna kill me. All right, show us. Yep, there it is. There it is. Do you have turn 3 Tron with a 3-card hand? Okay, probably not. Unless you get really lucky, probably not. All right, well, we just want to draw land, really. If we draw, oh, there's Forge Anew. Well, play the land, play an Epicure. If we draw land, this Epicure might just be fast enough. Possible. No Tron lands. We really do need to draw that land, though. If we don't draw land, we give every turn that goes by without drawing a land is a turn that we let our opponent. Okay, in Chromatic Sphere. Well, they're gonna do it, aren't they? Can we just draw land and hit for 11, please? Thank you, Magic Gods. Tron does not deserve to win this. Okay, well, we are looking kind of like hammer time at the moment, but we're up against Tron. What can I say? Next game, we will Forge Anew them. This game, we will Epicure them. All right, well, we'll see. If our opponent does actually go Tron, if they do actually go Tron Karn, they beat us. Or Wormcoil, that also beats us. If they don't Tron, we should be good. I don't think they should have a main deck answer to this. Hit you for 11. Did you do it, opponent? Is this the classic 3-card Tron? Okay, opponent cracks. That's good. Now, even if they assemble Tron, they don't have much mana. Normally, I feel bad when opponent mulligans solo, but against Tron, I never do. Not even a little. I'm rooting for the Mulda too. Well, we're gonna bring in the Blood Moons, which I don't know if Blood Moons are worth it in this deck or not. I do love Blood Moons. The big problem, like, the mana base can support them. The big issue is Blood Moon is really bad with Urza Saga. So we do have a little bit of Blood Moon non-bowing in our deck. This hand is, wow, as bad as hands get. We have the Blood Moon Urza Saga combo in 6 Magic the Gathering land. That's a lot of lands in a 22 land deck. In my dream world, I really want a World Slayer Tron. I think that would be hilarious. So if we get a chance, that's one of our goals for the game is to World Slayer. I'm sure that's not a good goal for this game, but it's on the to-do list. We're gonna mulligan. So this isn't turn 3 Forge Anew, but we can turn 2 Stoneforge. Turn 3, discard what we Stoneforge. Turn 4, Forge Anew. Opponent keeping many more cards this game. Chromatic Sphere. Well, Sacred Fountain. Yeah, Arid Mesa. Thin the deck. We have too many lands. Are we Sylvan Scrying or something? Something to that effect. Ooh, okay, no turn 3 Tron. That's good. Sylvan Scrying. Well, that's Arid Mesa. Awkwardly, I think we got to get the Sacred Foundry here. Not good with Blood Moon, but we need double red for Pyro. Opponent fails to find a land. Does our opponent not have any? They must have misclicked. That's actually pretty rough. Now I feel a little bad for a Tron player, which is something I never thought I'd feel bad for a Tron player, but that actually makes me not another land. Now I feel bad for us too. That's a lot of lands. That's okay though, because we can do our thing. Windswept Heath, correct? Windswept Heath. Get a Plains. Maybe our opponent didn't want the land for some reason. Stoneforge. I mean, this is not we probably should be getting Argentum Armor or a Colossus Hammer or we probably should be getting literally any other equipment in our deck, but I cannot pass up the chance to World Slayer Tron. That is just too beautiful. Ancient Stirrings finds a power plant. I mean, and World Slayer is kind of good. It means if our opponent does manage to Karn off of Tron next turn, World Slayer is an answer. That is an answer. I guess Argentum Armor is too, but World Slayer is a more hilarious answer. Who gets World Slayer in Modern? Opponent. Gonna kill the Stoneforge. That's kind of fine. We weren't going to use it this turn anyway. We would rather have the World Slayer in the graveyard. Ooh, Sigarda's Aid. Well, it could be good for the future. The other thing we want to keep in mind here is if our current plan is to blow up all the permanents, we would like to keep some lands for after we blow up all the permanents because we don't have anything indestructible. So our game plan's going to be to rebuild faster than Tron, hopefully. I mean, this isn't bad. Here we go, opponent. Let's see if they can do something big before the world gets slayed. Chromatic Star. Cracks it. Well, apparently our opponent doesn't have any Tron lands. I mean, World Slayer should just win us the game, right? Forge Anew World Slayer. We have 3 lands in hand. We got the Saga. We got the Ink Moth. I think that should be good. Cycles a Wilt. So apparently our opponent, no fear of the World Slayer. I mean, I guess no one expects Forge Anew at this point, so, and definitely no one expects World Slayer. Dismembers the Pyro. I actually feel pretty good about this. I think this should work. All right, we draw even more Urza Sagas. Well, so 1, 2, 3. Forge Anew. Argentum Armor definitely would have been better, wouldn't it? But this is so cool. All right, Forge Anew. Reanimate World Slayer. Forge Anew. Yeah, Argentum Armor would just be like, we'd be hitting for 7, with 6 more damage. And we still get to blow up a Tron land. Arguably strictly better in this scenario. The scenario where World Slayer is best, actually, is if we already have Cauldron complete, then we have an indestructible creature. Forge Anew resolves. World Slayer returns. We better win. If we don't win from this, I'm going to be so sad. This is kind of like, we're getting rid of 2 Tron lands. Our opponent seems to be struggling to find Tron lands, so Tron should not be an issue for a while. We get to make the first land drop. We got Urza Sagas to eventually make constructs. Unfortunately, this is only a World Slayer really should pump a little bit. Blow it all up except for the World Slayer. Play them out and pass the turn. Draws a Tron land. That's not great. Another Seasoned Pyromancer. A fetch, I guess, would be good. We could get our last... Oh, no. Do we have another mountain? We might not have another... Goodness. Oh, no. They're just high rolling into Tron. Oh, no. World Slayer. Why, World Slayer? Why? Oh. They seem like they were struggling for mana, and they just... Did they just go Tron land? Off the top, post World Slayer? Well, okay, there's the power plant. Okay, World Slayer, modern all-star worlds. Did we break it? Okay, get in their construct. Get in their construct. We're going to keep making constructs. We did draw a red source, which is good. That means we can Pyromancer at some point, but our opponent having Tron is not good. We'll get a Colossus Hammer, I guess. If we ever draw another Forge Anew, we can World Slayer again. Get rid of those Tron lands. Maybe that's the... You just have to keep World Slaying. Inspiring Vantage. Run out the Shadow Sphere to grow the construct. Go to combat. Smack you around a little bit. Down to 9. I mean, technically these 2 constructs could win, right? Like, they are presenting lethal. Forge Anew would still be really good. Well, okay, opponent has Tron. Let's see how bad this is. Karn the Great Creator. Okay. Oh, I think this beats us. The Incarn for Bridge, right? Yeah. I don't think we have an answer to Ensnaring Bridge. One sneaky answer to Ensnaring Bridge that could come up is, since Forge Anew lets us equip at instant speed, we can, like, Seasoned Pyromancer, make 1/1s. Attack with the 1/1s that can actually get in through our opponent's defenses, and then equip after we have already attacked to get around the bridge. So that's worth keeping in mind. I think this turn we need to attack the Karn, so if our opponent wants to downtick, it's going to die. And then we can Goblin Engineer, put a Argentum Armor in the graveyard. Actually, I don't know. What do we put in the graveyard? Are we in deck thinning mode? I guess it doesn't matter. Our equipment don't do anything with Karn out anyway, even with Forge Anew. Engineer can get Backhammer. Yeah, I guess it's probably just Cauldron Complete. If we Cauldron Complete, Forge Anew makes a 5/5 that doesn't do anything because of Ensnaring Bridge. We don't have any 0-powered creatures. Ornithopter Forge Anew. That's the way to beat the bridge. I don't really want to play Ornithopter though. Can you kill us, Tron? With all the manas. 7 mana, Karn. Yeah, okay. This one I think is slipping away because of this bridge. Karn the Great Creator. Pretty good card. Pretty good Magic card. Opponent gonna eat the Engineer, sure. There might have been an argument for, well, it doesn't matter now. Probably what we should have done is put a hammer in the graveyard with Engineer, and then if we drew Sigarda's Aid, we could like Ink Moth, sack something, Sigarda's Aid equip, well, take up the Saga. We can make big constructs, they're just super useless at the moment because of this bridge. Seasoned Pyromancer. I think we slayed the world and lost anyway. I can't believe, after our opponent seemed to be struggling with their land drops and not assembling Tron quickly, that we blew up all their lands and they just went Tron land. Okay, honestly, like, getting World Slayer was probably not correct. It was funny though, wasn't it? Okay, we did the World Slayer thing. So if we get the chance this game, I guess, maybe we go Argentum Armor. That's probably what we should have done last game. Like, Argentum Armor, blow up a Tron land. Can you kill it? If not, blow up another Tron land. And then we also still have the Fortune on the battlefield. So we definitely took the meme line and got massively punished. That is Goblin Engineer Fortune with even an Esper Sentinel on turn 1. This is, we would take this opening hand every single game. This is what we want. Engineer, actually double Engineer, double Fortune, so we do it twice if we want to. This is why we play this deck. Like, this is a draw. Tutor our best equipment, Fortune it into play. Probably gonna be Argentum Armor this time, but we will see. Opponent is kept at 5. Inspiring Vantage, and Esper Sentinel. Sentinel might actually be good. On turn 1 on the play, like, we should draw some cards, right? Yes, give us that sweet, sweet card. Oh, Dismember. All right, I mean, that's still fine. As even that scenario, Esper Sentinel did its job. Like, it came down, it drew us a card, and an 8 removal spell. That is a successful Esper Sentinel. It's not the, like, huge snowball. Okay, there's a land. We will play in Ink Moth and run out Goblin Engineer. So the big risk here is our opponent having Graveyard Hate. We're gonna take Argentum Armor this time. We learned our lesson about World Slayer. Yes, we will Argentum Armor. So, well, let's see. Our opponent needs to exile our graveyard or have removal for the Engineer. If they do not have one of those things, we essentially just win the game. All right, opponent does have removal for the Engineer. Okay, so there is risk. Stoneforge Mystic. Let's just Engineer again. Engineer for Calder Complete. I mean, we do have double Fortune. The only downside of this plan is it is really, really soft to like a Relic of Progenitus. That would get us good. Can we stick a creature? Actually, I'm kind of glad that, I'm not glad that happened, because if we could have Argentum Armored and attacked, we just essentially win the game. But it does show one of the downsides of the Argentum Armor plan. Like, Calder Complete, you don't need anything on the battlefield when you Fortune. Argentum Armor, you do need a body to equip it to, or else it doesn't do anything. All right, don't Tron us this turn. Don't Tron us. Give us one more turn. I promise it won't hurt too bad. Okay, Chromatic Sphere. Opponent cracks for green. No Graveyard Hate, please. No Tron, no okay, just a forest. And passes. Okay, we're gonna try to do the thing. Urza Saga. Forge Anew. I mean, we're gonna go for the gold with Argentum Armor. They could have 1-mana artifact destruction like a Nature's Claim, but how many interactive spells can Tron possibly have? All right, Argentum Armor, equip it. This is almost a lock against Tron, actually, if we get to attack here. Like, blowing up a land every turn is going to make it very difficult for our opponent to ever assemble Tron. Do you have a Nature's Claim or a Force of Vigor? They're not letting, they have something, don't they? Opponent either fell asleep or they have an answer. Oh, they really do have Force. Oh, okay. Okay, well, good thing. Good news. We have another Fortune in hand. So we can try again next. Wow, this is a very interactive Tron hand. Dismember, Spatial Contortion, and Force of Figure. That's Tron control over there. All right, Expedition Map. Opponent's going to tutor up Tron. Sure. Tower. Wow, watch him have another Spatial Contortion. Okay, we're going for it again. We're just going to run it back. 1, 2, and 3. Forge Anew. Reanimator, Argentum Armor. Well, we know this time that they can't Force a Vigor at least. So they gotta have like Spatial Contortion basically, or Dismember. Equip. Oh, okay, I think we're good. Combat. Is it happening? Engineer, Argentum Armor, out of here Tower, blow up the land they just tutored, and down to 8. And this is technically lethal next turn, right? Like, this should be lethal next turn. We can pump with the Shadow Sphere. Opponent does not have Tron any longer, and they scoop it up. Yes! World Slayer didn't do exactly what we wanted to, but Argentum Armor coming through. Sweet. We do have Stoneforge. We can fill the graveyard. We'll give it a shot. It seems fine. It's not the nut draw, but turn 2 Stoneforge to get a Calder Complete. Decent backup plan. Could be good enough. Plus, we're still drawing live to Forge Anew since we have this Epic here to blood an equipment into the graveyard if necessary. All right, so Mountain and Voldaren Epic here. Pingya, pass the turn. So Forge Anew is still our best draw, I think. It's definitely still our best draw. A Tuara for our opponent. And, all right, playing some Merfolk. Well, play the plains, play a Stoneforge Mystic, Caldra Complete, and hit you for 1. So our biggest concern right now is our opponent turning our plains into a island. If our opponent can turn our plains into an island, we're actually Very sad. Oh, okay. Oh, God. Oh, okay. Well, we are not very sad. We're feeling pretty good now. We will play an Urza Saga and put a Calder Complete into play and smack you a bit. Yeah, our opponent might be in trouble here. Opponent's gonna block with the Tide Shaper. Sure. We will pass the turn. Yeah, this Calder Complete can do a lot of work, and if our opponent doesn't draw something, we get to put Batter's Call into play too. All right, they draw a land, so they could maybe turn this into an island. Although they might have to go after the Urza Saga. Like, that's also going to start making big creatures. Master of the Pearl Trident. Well, let's blood token, discard a Urza Saga. I think we'd rather have the Ink Moth. All right, we draw Inspiring Vantage. Oh God, there's Sigarda's Aid. Okay, now we might win. Sigarda's Aid, Ink Moth Nexus. Yeah, I don't know how our opponent survives this Colossus Hammer. Hammer? You? That was easy. Path Exile in. March of Otherworldly Light in. That's probably all. I think we're gonna keep the World Slayer. That was kind of a very hammery win. That was a Stoneforge. That was just straight up Stoneforge win. Giver of Runes for protection from blue seems decent. Probably not that decent. I guess we can trim a Seasoned Pyromancer. Let's try it like that. On to game 2. Well, game 1, that was kind of a freebie. Our opponent was on the draw and kept a 1-lander and got super punished. This game, our opponent's on the play and probably won't keep a 1. Oh, this hand is so close. If only we had more. Actually, you know what? I think we keep this anyway. Like, we got the Sigarda's Aid. The big problem is 1 land, but we have turn 1 Esper Sentinel. If we draw land, turn 2 Sigarda's Aid Hammer, that's like kind of ridiculous. Opponent doing some mulligan, plays an island and passes. Can we draw lands? Yes. Well, Sacred Foundry untapped and Esper Sentinel. Pass the turn. Can we keep drawing lands? Opponent, island, and Tide Shaper. That's actually super annoying. All right, so that gets rid of our Sacred Foundry. That's a problem. That is a problem. Oh, Urza Saga. Urza Saga is kind of bad here. Let's play Ink Moth. Okay, so Ink Moth means we can potentially, we need a white source. We need a white source. We're getting punished for playing all of these colorless lands. We're not built for decks turning our lands into islands. Chalice of the Void on 1. We get to draw a card. All right, not a very helpful card, but a card gets in for 2. We don't really care about Chalice because of Forge Anew. Like, it does slow us down, but Forge Anew, one of its upsides is it does get around Chalice pretty well. Well, Urza Saga. Fire up the Ink Moth. Hit you for 2. I think we actually just cast the Hammer into the Chalice, get it countered. Opponent. Oops. We need an oops emote, so our opponent thinks that was an accident. Hexcatcher. Opponent goes to combat, gets in. Hexcatcher is kind of annoying. That can counter some of our stuff. Down to 13. Oh, this is going to be closer than I wanted. Untap. Esper Sentinel. Go to combat. Attack with the Sentinel. If our opponent wants to trade with their Lord, that's fine. Opponent does not. All right, well, pass the turn. Could really use some white mana. Opponent goes to combat. Sure. I mean, we get to start making big constructs, big-ish constructs. Well, 1, 2, make a construct. Is there any way we can win this race? Untap. 2, make a construct. Okay, opponent's gonna trickster a construct. That is annoying. We'll get a Shadow Sphere. Discard a Cauldron Complete. Wow, that Tide Shaper got us so good. Yeah, we're actually pretty close to being straight up dead here. That Trickster was also big. Opponent combat. Attacks. I mean, I think we just have to take it, unfortunately. Do we take it? We could kill something. Do we want to kill something? So we take 6, but we can gain back 4? Yeah, I think we take it. So we drop to 4 for now. Into the Esper Sentinel, pays the 1. We draw a land we can't cast. Well, okay. Oh boy, this has been tough running. Well, okay, Shadow Sphere on the construct. Go to combat, hit you for 4. Can we stay on defense? I don't think we can stay on defense. Actually, maybe we have to stay on defense. Yeah, let's stay on defense. Pass the turn, discard Sigarda's Aid. Ooh, where's our lands? On Merfolk. Passes. Can we draw a land? Urza's Saga. I mean, that is a land for the future. I think we just gotta pass for now. This is a risky turn. This is the turn where things could go really wrong. Opponent untaps. Passes. Well, now we get to start making more constructs at least. World Slayer. Well, take up Urza's Saga. Boy, we just cannot cast anything. Well, we're definitely gonna start attacking now. Attack with the construct. Make another one. Hit you to 13. Discard World Slayer. Oh, come on. No Island Walk. No Island Walk, Lord. No, 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 no. Just keep whiffing for a couple more turns. Please. It'll be fine. And, are they passing? Oh, goodness. Okay, passing. That's huge. That is huge. We finally draw a white source. So, okay. Urza's Saga construct. Get a hammer. Go to combat. Attack, attack. Opponent. Gots to chump. Okay, down to 6. We're back up to 6. I think we have survived the mana screw. Now an Island Walk Lord doesn't kill us. What is our opponent's hand? Wow, opponent scoops it up. Okay, well, that game we found the Forge Anews and filled the graveyard, but our opponent, Merfolk land destruction over there. We'll take it. We'll take it. Sweet, sweet. See if we can keep the good times rolling. I mean, I like Esper Sentinel. This hand doesn't really do anything, though. Esper Sentinel, Giver of Runes, on the draw. I think we just mulligan. I think we want something... Oh, well, okay. You know what? Actually, we're going to keep this. This hand's not great, but it does have a Sigarda's Aid, which means we always have the potential of just janking our opponent out with this Inkmoth Nexus, which is kind of big. Overgrown Tomb for our opponent, but the hand's not good. Oh, no. Gilded Goose. Oh, food combo. Interesting. Well, Inspiring Vantage and Voldiran Epicure. Pina. So I assume our opponent's playing Sam. The new Sacrifice, whatever. You don't see that many Gilded Gooses in Modern. Gilded Geese. Hobbits do have the best food token. I'll give them that. Looks delicious. Oh, is this Sam already? Changes that sacks food, changes their mind. Does sack the food. What is up, Goose? Wait, okay, sacks of food. Grizzly Salvage. Carrion Feeders, Bloodghast, Stitcher Suppliers. Wow, this looks like a Hogak deck. Pretty sure those were all Hogak staples. This has got to be the Sam Sacrifice deck. So I need Cat, Sack Outlet, Sam. And they go infinite. Well, I guess it's going to be on us to one-shot our opponent with this Inkmoth before that happens. Overgrown Tomb, untap, Bloodghast returns, sure. And the Carrion Feeder, our opponent on team, no blocks. Stoneforge Mystic. How do we want to do this? All right, so we can chip in for 1 with the Voldiran Epicure. If we play the Sigarda's Aid, our opponent's going to know something's up. Play Epicure. Pina. I mean, I think the upside's still there. Play the Sigarda's Aid, pass the turn. I mean, our opponent's team is not very good at blocking. So there's a world where we just one-shot with a Voldiran Epicure. Like, opponent's at 11. A hammer on Epicure is 11 damage. Opponent gonna do some Carrion Feeder shenanigans. Right now, the Goose can block, which is an issue. Gilded Goose might actually be saving our opponent's life here. I don't know if they know it, but it is. Opponent, yeah, gonna go the Carrion Feeder, gonna sack, get back the Bloodghast. Sure. Wow, opponent's down to 8. Okay, opponent is quickly killing themselves. Well, I think if they had a Sam, they would have played it. It would have been much better with the other shenanigans. So our opponent does have blockers now. Okay, there's Cauldron Familiar. That is a combo piece. Opponent hits us. Sacks the Bloodghast again. We draw Inspiring Vantage. Well, play an Inkmoth Nexus. Play a Stoneforge. Grab a Hammer. And we can't win this turn, but we might be able to win next turn. All right, pass the turn. Opponent, can you combo us? Opponent, all they need is Sam. If they find Sam, they can go infinite. Well, Sam in a land, I guess. Grizzly Salvage. Still no Sam. Safi Eric's daughter. So that can loop with Renegade Rallier, but that doesn't win, right? Windswept Heath. Our opponent's got a bunch of synergy. Oh, they mill the Safi. Oh, a Stitcher's Supplier? They took a Stitcher's Supplier, okay. Do you have the Sam? Maybe they're not even playing Sam. Maybe they're playing Safi. Opponent sacks Bloodghast. Sacks Bloodghast. Sacks Windswept Heath. Gingerbread Cabin. Oh, that's a food. So if they have Sam, they can do it. If they have Sam, they can do it. Do they have Sam? I mean, if we die to getting comboed by Sam, I'll accept that. I would prefer it not to happen, but 1 blocker, 2 blocker. Right now, they only have 3 blockers. The Goose is annoying. That can block our... All right, there's Safi. So that's another blocker. So I think this means we need to draw something. Opponent attacks. We'll take it. 4. Yeah, they can block everything currently. Oh, I'm an idiot. We needed to block that. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I guess we needed to block, didn't we? What were we gonna draw? Oh my god, we would have drawn oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is a punt. That is a punt. I wasn't thinking that they were gonna combo there, but yeah. I was thinking, okay, they got this combo, but the combo doesn't do anything, so what do we care? But the do something is... The do something is our opponent growing the carrion feeder. Yeah, that was a self-inflicted demise there. That one was on me. We'll go 1 Pyromancer, a Giver of Runes. Hey, let's go 1 Hallowed Moonlight. Actually, does Sanctifier actually stop them? Yeah, that's fine. Let's run it like that. It stops them enough, I think. That was totally a misplay. Well, I mean, we got to keep this. A little bit sketchy with only 1 land, but 1 colored source of mana. We do have the Saga, but that doesn't help with the Sanctifier in back. So we do need another land, but I mean, we have the Forge Anew. We have a bunch of good equipment in hand. We got the Sanctifier to shut down a lot of our opponents. Oh boy, that was, oh, I'm going to get so yelled at. That one, you deserve to yell at me for that. I will accept the yells on that one because that was an onboard trick. It's early in the morning. I haven't had all my coffee yet. I blame it on that. Need more coffee. I'm disappointed our opponent doesn't even seem to be playing Sam. They're playing like, maybe Sam's in there and we didn't see it, but they're playing like hard mode combo. We will play a Plains, a Shadow Sphere, and pass the turn. Passes land. Sigarda's Aid. Well, okay, Urza Saga and Stoneforge Mystic. Cauldron complete. Pass the turn. Oh, we still really need to draw land because this Urza Saga is temporary. Thinking about how to use the Triome Stitcher Supplier to do some milling. All right, they hit a Bloodghast and get back the Bloodghast. Get an Overgrown Tomb untapped and Gilded Goose. Sure. We draw land. That is pretty nice. So take up Urza Saga, play the land untapped, Sigarda's Aid, put a Cauldron complete into play, and smack you a bit. I mean, we might be able to just win next turn. We should. I mean, opponent has a combo this turn, really, because Urza Saga can get hammer number 2, and 2 hammers on a Cauldron complete is probably GG's. Opponent gonna block with a Stitcher Supplier. Okay, there's the Sam. Yeah, I think we're hopefully fast enough that they shouldn't be able to combo yet. Because they need Sam, Cat, and a Sack Outlet. They would have to have the ridiculously perfect hand. They would need 3 different combo pieces in hand. I mean, they could have a Path or something. That can actually deal with the Germ. Stitcher Supplier to mill some cards. All right, opponent's just trying to set up for the future by the looks. Windswept Teeth. I'm not sure they have a future, though. Our opponent, unless they have a removal spell, the future looks short for Sam and the Hobbits. Opponent gets a Forest. Watch us die. Renegade Rallier. Okay. I mean, they're still short of combo pieces. They can get the Sack Outlet or the Sam, but not both. And we still don't see a Cat, so we should be good. I think we just Cauldron complete them here with our hammers. Is Sanctifier in fact good enough to shut down the combo? It shuts down the Bloodghast shenanigans, but it doesn't actually stop. I mean, it stops the Cat, so it does stop. It stops all the combos except the onboard attack you no blocks that we lost to in game 1 thanks to our own stupidity. Opponent gets the Sam. Gets in with a Bloodghast. Yeah, I think these hammers in this Cauldron complete going to be a little too much. So we draw an Inspiring Vantage. We will float a mana. Urza Saga goes away. Colossal Hammer. Put it on the Germ. Yes, please. And then Colossal Hammer. Put it on the Germ. And that's a mighty Germ. That's a mighty Germ. Would you like to take 25 to the face? We could equip the Shadow Spear, just doesn't actually matter. Turn 4, pretty good. Although we didn't do the cool thing. Actually, Maybe we want Pithing Needle too. That does shut down Carrion Feeder. That's probably worth it. Let's go down Esper Sentinel. It doesn't seem like our opponent has that many spells. Let's go up a Path. Go down to Esper Sentinel for a Giver of Runes. Yeah, let's try it like that. On the draw, oh no, did I sideboard up a card? I didn't mean to sideboard up a card. Well, okay, 61 card special, just as we intended. So the issue with the Sam combo is it does take a lot of pieces. It's disruptible by the graveyard, and you do need 3 pieces. You get some redundancy, but still, you do need a lot. Ooh, all right. I think we keep this. We could use a way to get something in the graveyard for Forge Anew, but I like the Path. If we draw another white source, Sanctifier seems pretty good against our opponent's deck. Overgrown Tomb and Gilded Goose. Honk honk. Sigarda's Aid A. Well, let's start with Esper Sentinel. Pass the turn. There could be a world where we path our own Esper Sentinel. Force of Vigor, Rally. Okay, opponent didn't mill much. Overgrown Tomb untapped. Stitcher's Supplier to mill some cards. All right, they mill a Safi. Opponent passes. Okay, there's white mana. So Windswept Teeth, crack it. Sacred Foundry. Run out the Sanctifier. So Sanctifier doesn't do anything right away, but it does keep the Sam combo from working. We'd love a looting effect or a Goblin Engineer. Like, we have the Forge Anew. It'd be nice if we could get something in the graveyard. Opponent, sacks of food. And Renegade Rallier. Okay. To get back what? Altar of Dementia, probably? All right, they're going to get the Safi. That's fine. Plays a land. Passes. We draw Sigarda's Aid. Well, play an Ink Moth. Play a Sigarda's Aid. Nothing to equip at the moment, though. Pass the turn, leave up the Path. If our opponent finds a sack outlet, we probably have to path the Renegade Rallier, I guess. All right, we will pass. So what's our opponent's best bet here? Land Coco, if they're playing it, would be good. I don't know if you, with Altar of Dementia, do you play it? So Altar of Dementia, Safi, Renegade Rallier, also a combo. Forge Anew's not looking great at the moment. No way to get things in the graveyard. Grizzly Salvage. Are we paying the 1? No. Oh, we draw a Relic. Okay, Relic's also sweet. All right, so opponent's gonna go Grizzly Salvaging. I guess they can take a Solitude to answer the Sanctifier. They would have to pitch a white card. Oh, they do take the Solitude. Should we just path this Renegade Rallier? All right, I guess we let it go for now. We get drained for 1, but it doesn't really matter. So opponent's hand is Solitude and 1 unknown card. I guess Safi kind of combos with Pitch Solitude too, right? You invoke it and then sack Safi to get it back. That's kind of cute. This Relic was actually a pretty good draw. Esper Sentinel, even in a not great matchup, Esper Sentinel's kind of paying off. This Relic shuts down a lot of shenanigans, so we get drained. Opponent goes to combat. Passes. Well, we untap. We draw. Another Sanctifier. Relic. Start eating away at the graveyard. And then I think we just have to pass. We kind of wouldn't mind drawing another land. All right, opponent's going to pitch Solitude, discarding Renegade Rallier. Okay. Going to go after the Sanctifier. Not going to sack Safi. Oh, they are going to sack Safi. Crack the Relic. Draw Argentum Armor. Was probably not the best timing, was it? Yeah, that was not the best timing. This matchup's been a mess. I think we have to path the Solitude. Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake for sure. Can we find a way to get our equipment in the graveyard? All right, we take our beats down to 14. Wow, opponent didn't have a land to find either. Passes. We draw a land. Well, we will Sanctifier Invect Part 2. Play the land. Pass the turn. I mean, I guess someday we're going to hardcast things. Opponent going to make a food. Sure. Untaps. Magic's easier when you don't punt every other match. Hard mode achieved. Opponent goes to combat. Gets in with a Rallier. Seasoned Pyromancer would be a amazing draw at the moment. Down to 11. And ooh, they have something. Okay, Temple Garden, white mana. There's the Sam. Epic here. Okay, Voldaren Epic here. Play it. We're not attacking with Ink Moth, right? Not this turn. Okay, so sack the blood. The question is, would we rather have Argentum Armor or Cauldron Complete? Actually, it's probably Argentum Armor. Yeah, let's Argentum Armor. See if we draw land would be great. Land lets us do it this turn. Oh, okay. It is a land, but not the one we were hoping for. Well, play another Sigarda's Aid. Pass the turn. I mean, that's fine, that's fine. Would have been better to hit the untap land and get an Argentum Armor this turn, but next turn's okay too. Opponent, gonna make a food. Well, this is a big turn. This is a big turn. What does our opponent top deck? Gets in with a Rallier. Does that mean they drew away to kill Sanctifier? Oh, that would be a blowout. Well, we're gonna block, and we're gonna block. Kill the Stitcher Suppliers. Drop to 6. Opponent passes. We draw an Urza Saga. Well, play Urza Saga. Forge Anew. Get back the Argentum Armor. Put it on the Sanctifier. Go to combat. Blow up the Renegade Rallier. Gonna block with the Goose. Wow, this ended up being super close. Not gonna block with the Goose. Well, we will pass the turn. Saxophone. Oh no. Rally the Ancestors? That's not that good though, is it? It doesn't seem that good. Realizing that. Okay, they decide. So they do. I'm like 99% sure they have Rally the Ancestors in hand. But just getting back a Renegade Rallier doesn't do much. Okay, Saxophone. They're gonna do it during their turn. Okay, so they rally back the Renegade Rallier. They get a land. Yep. Makes a food. Yep. Oh, this is very interesting. Do we chump this turn? Probably not, right? Opponent goes attacking. Well, we're definitely not chumping a cat. The thing is, we're up to 7 lands. So if we draw an untap land, we can just Cauldron Complete, and I think that's lethal. That is an untap land. I mean, that should work. Arid Mesa. Crack it. Plains. 7 mana. Cauldron Complete. No. And opponent scoops it up. Wow. Okay, so maybe our deck is actually just good. Like, Forge Anew came through in that. Cool to see our opponent playing a brew. Maybe our deck's just good, though, because there were multiple puns in that game. Like, arguably, just through game 1. Not even arguably. Definitely just through game 1 with a pun. And then that Solitude turn in game 3 was a little weird. But the power of Argentum Armor in Modern, not Commander, in Modern, the power of Argentum Armor, good enough to overcome a lot of punning, apparently. A lot of punning. Okay, maybe Forge Anew. Did we break it? Sweet. We are forging anew in Modern this week, and we're gonna keep this. It's greedy. That's a lot of lands. But we have Forge Anew. We have a way to get a card in the graveyard. Could you imagine if we just drew Argentum Armor or World Slayer? I don't think World Slayer would make us win, but it'd be funny. Yeah, we should probably thin the deck here, right? Get a mountain, get a plains, inspiring. Yeah, all right. Arid Mesa, crack it. Snag our mountain. Play Voldarin Epicure. Ping ya. Epicure is sneaky good in this deck. This card is like, it punches up. It's way better than you'd think as just a random common. Opponent, Misty Rainforest. Sure. Argentum Armor, please. That is blue mana. Opponent cracks the Misty. Living End, eh? Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Okay, well, probably pretty dead. Yeah, that's a fast start. Okay, so New Hope is, I guess, to draw creatures to put in the graveyard. I don't even know if that'll work. Cauldron, oh, we would have drawn it too. Although I guess it still gets blown out by Living End. We might have met our match. Oh, that grief makes me so sad. It makes me so sad. We had the whole combo. All right, opponent had their big turn and then nap time. All right, opponent is returned from nap time. Well, hit him for 1, down to 13. Yeah, let's Inspiring Vantage go. Unfortunately, Cauldron Complete, even though it works like a creature, it's not a creature. Oh, opponent, back to nap time. Misty Rainforest cracks it down to 12. I mean, our opponent is getting kind of low on life. Forest grabs a card, passes. So next turn could be the Living End turn. Inkmoth Nexus, Blood Token, Cauldron Complete. There's a Goblin Engineer. Play the Urza Saga. Play Goblin Engineer. That grief really got us good. World Slayer. Pass the turn. So, okay, here's the one way I think we could possibly win. Assuming our opponent living ends next turn, which seems super likely because that's kind of what their deck does. So the one way we could possibly win through the living end. So we have the Urza Saga. We can play an Ink Moth. We need to draw Sigarda's Aid. So when the Urza Saga goes off, we can fire up the Ink Moth, free equip. Ooh, no living end this turn. Okay. Oh, that's going to make it tougher, isn't it? Okay, opponent. Cycling. I mean, I guess the other way we could win is if our opponent just never draws Cascade Spell. That would also do it. Another land. All right, well, take up, make the construct. Well, the Ink Moth plan's not going to work. Play the Windswept Heath, go to combat. Hit ya. Down to 9. Pass the turn. We need to play the Windswept Heath because of Architects of Will. If our opponent cascades and controls the top of our deck, we definitely need the blind draw. Wow, opponent Architect. Do they just not have the Cascade spell? Grief, that's a whiff. I mean, if they do have the living end, it's ridiculous and we die. If they don't have the living end, could we just beat them down? Is that actually a possibility? There's the, oh, they have it. Not yet. Okay, during our turn. Well, we will make a construct. Living end. Oh, we drew the Sigarda's Aid too, just a turn too late. So, well, make a construct. Wow, our plan almost came to fruition. Do you have it? Do you have the Violent Outburst? Okay, so we make a construct. Saga goes away. Yeah, let's just take Shadow Sphere. Play an Ink Moth Nexus. Crack the Windswept Heath. I still feel like they have it. I still feel like we're doing all this and then they're just gonna living end. Grab a Plains. Play Sigarda's Aid. If we had drawn that one turn earlier. No, here it comes. All right, opponent cracks the fetch, breeding pool, untapped, Violent Outburst. All right, so opponent waited till, oh, Force of Negation. Okay, well, we will fire up the Ink Moth Nexus just to be an artifact. Wow, okay. Wow, they didn't find it. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that worked, but it did. Well, okay. Relic in, Hallowed Moonlight's in. Sanctifier and Vex in. Go down. What? So we want things that can fill the graveyard. Like getting creatures in our graveyard's at least somewhat valuable. We can probably like trim a couple Esper Sentinels. Trim a Giver of Runes. Is there any way World Slayer's not going to connect, right? I guess we got to go down the World Slayer. Why is it so hard to make World Slayer work? Maybe just the rest of the Givers. Like, it's not like our opponent's deck gets to play interaction, really. All right, let's try it like that. That was pretty big. Somehow we won game 1 against Living End. We'll keep this. Only 1 land, but if we draw lands, this could be the nut draw. Opponent, Misty Rainforest, cracks it. The Hallowed Moonlight is our gotcha card. We'll see if we get the lands for it. Opponent cycles. And passes. Inspiring Vantage, and I think we actually have to start with Epicure. Because we really want to hit a land. Hit you to 12 past the turn. A land next turn's the best, because then we can leave up this Hallowed Moonlight. Waker of Waves. Come on, deck, show us a land. Show us a land. You know what a sneaky sideboard plan would be? Is to play some big artifact to Goblin Engineer into the graveyard. Opponent mills a Force of Negation. Okay, there's the grief. Okay, we're gonna lose a Hallowed Moonlight, I assume. Can we draw a land? Takes the Hallowed Moonlight. The Sanctifier gives us a shot. It gets rid of like half the creatures in the graveyard. Land? White mana? More specifically? Not a colorless source? Okay. Well, Inspiring Vantage, Sanctifier and Vec. That's pretty big. That shuts down a lot of our opponent's cascading. Like, they still get a Curator, they still get a Waker, but it means they don't just win the game, like straight up. All right, there's a Violent Outburst, gonna get back their stuff. Living End. Gets a Waker. Well, let's see what we draw. Sigarda's Aid. Goblin Engineer. For Cauldron Complete. Yeah, take the Cauldron Complete, pass the turn. Well, now we need a land for the Forge Anew. That is the next step. We could have tried to go on a sneaky hammer line where we like use Engineer to reanimate Hammer and equip it with Sigarda's Aid. That seems like a lot of effort though. If we had an untapped creature, it'd be better. All right, opponent goes attacking. Engineer has done its job. We can chump. Down to 16. We draw. Sack a Blood Token. Shadow Sphere. We really need lands. Sanctifier. Well, Esper Sentinel. I mean, the big risk with this hand was us not drawing lands. Like, we kind of knew that going into it. That was the risk. Because we did keep a 1-lander. Opponent cracks. Down to 8. Breeding Pool tapped. Yeah, I mean, I think we just chump. Down to 12. Tap land. Opponent passes. Land. Epic here. Well, we are not making this look easy, that's for sure. Opponent's gonna get to start casting stuff at some point. Voldaren Epic here, Pengia. Blood token. Discard. Sanctifier and Vec. Well, land number 3 is not looking close at the moment. Opponent. Scries. If we can get to the Seasoned Pyromancer, it gives us a decent amount of chump blockers. For this Waker, at least. Tap land, opponent attacks. Well, we will block. All right, we gotta draw land this turn. We're running, if we don't draw land this turn, we're dead. So please, Magic Gods, Arid Mesa, crack Arid Mesa, Plains. So I think we actually have to Season Pyromancer here. Season Pyromancer, discard, Pyromancer Sigarda's Aid. Pass the turn. I think we're gonna be just short. So we can chump, but we can't stop the, yeah, we're gonna die to the flyer. Opponent attacks. Yeah, we didn't find the land until turn 7. That's so long. All right, opponent, Steam Vents, tapped. Yeah, we are a point of damage short of lethal here. Assuming our opponent doesn't have a counter, which they could, but we can Forge Anew for the Cauldron Complete, but we still die because we can't stop the Curator. Well, there's the lands. That doesn't do it, though. So Forge Anew, 4/5. Yeah. All right. The Flyer gets... What a weird game. All right. Well, good news. There is good news. We're on the play for game number 3. So we'll run it back. Those griefs. It's amazing how much grief has improved Living End. Gives the deck something it didn't have before in a Thoughtseize, which is huge. We're gonna keep and see what happens. I wish we had another white source instead of 2 Urza's Sagas. As powerful as Saga is, actually, I wish we had a red source. If we had the red source, we could do the Forge Anew thing. So at this point, our plan is Stoneforge, I guess. The problem with the Stoneforge plan, should we be playing Urza's Saga on turn 1? If we play Urza's Saga on turn 1, so opponent makes a land drop, second lore counter, opponent gets a land drop, third lore counter, we won't get any value out of it and we're gonna lose our land, but we can get the Relic of Progenitus before they can Living End. And our opponent's mulled to 5, I think we do. This is the one time, I hate playing Urza's Saga on turn 1, but I think on the play against Living End is one of the super rare occasions where it's actually the best play. Bonus, Scalding Tarn. Passing. Well, we take up the Saga. All right, the Saga ticks up. Windswept Teeth. Crack, Windswept Teeth. Oh, this is kind of the dream. Sacred Foundry, untapped. Goblin Engineer. Argentum Armor in the graveyard. And pass the turn. Oh, do we go for it is the question. Opponent, Steam Vents untapped. Cycles. Force Negation's the concern. Untapped, down to 15. Waker of Waves. Pitches the Violent Outburst. Wow, this is a huge decision. Huge decision. So we untap. Urza Saga's gonna go away. We make a mana. We get a Relic of Progenitus. Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Exile a card from your graveyard. Okay, so here's the equation. We can go for Forge Anew Argentum Armor, but if our opponent has Force of Negation, we probably lose because we won't have mana for Relic. We could wait a turn and just like play a Stoneforge and leave up Relic activation to make sure we don't get Living Ended. Not as exciting, but probably a better line for winning. If the Argentum Armor line works, we essentially just lock our opponent out of the game because we get to blow up a land each turn. Do we do it for the content? Opponent did mull to 5. Can you really keep a Force Negation blue card on the mull to 5? We are also 3-0. Do we want to risk our potential 5-0 by going greedy? Well, play the land. Oh, I don't think they have it. If we lose, it's so brutal though. It's such a shame to do the whole turn 1 Urza Saga line just to get the Relic and then not leave it up. All right, we're gonna be responsible. We're gonna be responsible. Stoneforge Mystic. Grab a Cauldron Complete. Hit you with the Engineer. Down to 14. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Oh, I don't know. Should we have went for it? I'm really on the fence. I think this is the correct play, but it is less splashy and flashy. Opponent passes. Even more Cauldron Completes. Players a Saga. Stoneforge. Put Cauldron Complete into play. Hit ya. Oh, they're just going to go for it. Breeding pool untapped, down to 11. Besageu's the Relic. Okay, well, we will, in response, Relic. Exile the graveyards. Hit ya. Opponent cycles. So opponent's going to try to set things back up. Hopefully they can't cycle too much. We also lost our Argentum armor, sadly. Sadly, but necessarily. Cycles. Another Riverwinder. I mean, do you have the living end? There's a land. Wow, they found it. Unfortunate. So opponent wrasts the board. Stripe Riverwinders. We would mostly like to draw a red source now. Opponent passes. Epic, yeah. Well, okay, Urza Saga ticks up. We're at 17. We can forge Anew, but it doesn't do anything because we don't have a creature. Epicure you to 4. And pass the turn. Wow! Are we gonna lose? We might lose. Opponent, Misty, combat. So we drop to 12. What a close game. This game has been ridiculously close. Maybe we should have just went for the Argentum armor line. All right, opponent's gonna pass. So we will blood token, discard Cauldron Complete, draw Sigarda's Aid, float a mana. Yeah, get a hammer. All right, let's see if they have it. Forge Anew. Do you have the counter? Okay, so we get Cauldron Complete. Wait, what one's the new one? Oh no, this is the new one. Okay, so keep the new one because we want the germ. Attack. A Twara to bounce the Cauldron Complete. Okay. Let's see if they realize they need to block this Epicure. Opponent does realize. Well, we will equip. Hold. Opponent cracks, thins the deck. This game has been ridiculous. So opponent did have an answer. A red source for Seasoned Pyromancer would still be pretty nice. Can you beat a Voldaire and Epicure? Opponent goes to combat. Opponent swing. So they at least have another chump blocker. Hits us down to 7. Curator of Mysteries. Can we draw land? We can. That is big. Swing with Epicure. Force our opponent to chump. So opponent stays at 3, but now we get to Seasoned Pyromancer. Discard Cauldron, Sanctifier, pass the turn. So we have enough creatures in the graveyard that a living end doesn't just straight up beat us. The power of Forge Anew is we can move the hammer around after blocks. So we should have lethal next turn. Wow, this game was way grindier than I expected. I mean, and that's part of the power of Forge Anew, right? Like, it might not be as fast as the turn 2 jank you out hammer time, but it's way more resilient and it has all these new tricks. Like, the Argentum armor thing is it's just like super cool, or World Slayer thing. I still wonder, what if we just went for the Argentum armor on turn 3? Should we have just went for it? I feel like our line was correct in terms of win percentage. Not as flashy, that's for sure. So if our opponent living ends, we should win, right? Unless they can like cycle living end. We have 3 creatures in the graveyard. One of them's a Stone Forge. I guess they could living end during our turn. Okay, opponent griefs. So maybe they're just going to go for the living end. They only have 1 card in hand. I guess if that 1 card's a Cascade spell, they go for it. And they get 1, 2, 3, 4 creatures? Okay, take Sigarda's Aid. Well, let's see. Let's see if that's what they're going for. They got to do something because they are dead on board. All right, there it is. Last card, Cascade. Sure. So we lose our board. Opponent gets the living end. We get a pile of triggers, although unfortunately the grief resolves last. So Goblin Engineer, yes, will get a Shadow Sphere. Sanctifier and Vec, nukes our Seasoned Pyromancer. Stoneforge, Hammer. Grief takes the hammer. Opponent gets a Shardless Agent, but we should be able to win here, right? I think. So we untap, we draw an Engineer. So what we do is play Ink Moth. Tap it to turn it on. Sack it to Goblin Engineer to get the Shadow Sphere. We equip for mana. Colossus Hammer. Oh no. Okay. No, that was... You may pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost of the first equipped ability. Oh, jeez. Does this mean we die? We don't die, but this is bad. We block and block. Wow. We go to 3. Quick note on Forge Anew. Boy, there've been some punts in this league as we stumble our way to 4-0. Quick note on Anew, because I kind of, as you just saw, I kind of overlooked this. It only works for your first equip. I was reading this as you can equip once for free. That's not what it's saying. Only your first equip ability can be free. So since we use Shadow Sphere, because our thinking there was, okay, we just pay mana equip Shadow Spear, and then we free equip Colossus Hammer, and we win the game with a big attack. That was the idea. That doesn't actually work. We needed to do free equip Hammer and then Shadow Sphere. So just something to keep in mind with this card. It only works with your first equip, and if you equip it another way, that counts as your first equip. Thankfully, we still overcame, and we were still somehow 4-0. 4-0 with Anew. Well, sweet. Going for the 5-0 with Anew in Modern, and well, okay. We're gonna keep this. We need a big equipment. That's one thing we're missing. We got the Anew, we got Sigarda's Aid, we got creatures. We just need a big equipment. We even got the Seasoned Pyromancer to potentially get equipment in the graveyard. Well, all right, Sacred Foundry, untapped, Esper Sentinel, go. I mean, I guess we can Shadow Spear him. Sigarda's Aid Shadow Spear, got him. All right, opponent, what are you up to? I mean, growing the power of the Esper Sentinel is kind of relevant. Flooded Strand cracks it. Plains, Esper Sentinel. Well, we untap, we draw, Batter Skull. Oh, we just need a land now. We just need a land. Sigarda's Aid. Pay the 1. I think that's better than flashing in the Shadow Sphere here. We really don't want to give our opponent a free card. Urza Saga. Actually, a land that makes red would be the best, but another Esper Sentinel. Opponent goes to combat and passes. Okay, red source. Ooh, another Pyromancer. All right, that's awkward. Okay, oh no. Is our 5-0 dream dying? Dying to the lack of lands? Dying to the lack of Esper Sentinels? We're getting out-sentineled at the moment. Severely out-sentineled. Opponent untaps. A little scared of this construct. Island for our opponent goes to combat. Land, rat, World Slayer, my god, okay. This is the worst, we're dying. Not the most opportune time for the World Slayer, although, if we ever draw the red source, oh boy, you can see it all in our hand. Red source, Pyro, discard the big equipment, forge a new one back. Unfortunately, though, our opponent's going to make massive constructs, and we're probably going to die. Should probably just make another one, right? Not going to make another one. Names Ink Moth Nexus. Worried about getting a one shot, apparently. Untap land. Urza. Oh god, Urza. Okay. Things are looking super bad. Opponent goes to combat. Well, now I'm not even sure that a red source saves us. This Esper Sentinel has done nothing. We draw a white source. Actually, you know what? We're not even going to show our opponent any more cards. Let's concede. We don't want to show our opponent the graveyard stuff, and there's just no way we can get back in that. So, Pithing Needle Relic seemed fine. Go down a Giver of Runes. That was so close to the dream. Probably a March of Otherworldly Light. Yeah, the Sentinel did not look impressive there. A March and a March. That was close. Oh, I want the 5-0. We're so close to the 5-0. All right, we get to play first. I guess we can try to hammer up a Goblin Engineer. No Anew, unfortunately. Opponent doing some mulliganing. Well, Inspiring Vantage and Sigarda's Aid, go. Flooded Strand cracks it. Hallowed Fountain and Esper Sentinel. Portable Hole to get the Sigarda's Aid, sure. So much for our plan A. Well, let's see what we draw. I'm wondering if we need a Goblin Engineer. Oh, there's okay, well, in that case, now that we drew the Anew, the plan is simple. Definitely taking Argentum Armor now. And we are praying really hard to the Magic gods that we just top deck literally any land in our deck. And can Anew the Argentum Armor and just essentially win the game. Argentum Armor, go. Come on, Magic Gods, come on! Let's do the thing. Let's do the Anew thing. Can we get the land? Opponent, come on. Pithing Needle, okay. So that stops Goblin Engineer from activating. Let's see if they name Anew. Maybe they know what's up and they name Anew. Okay, they name Argentum Armor. Well, I guess that does stop it, doesn't it? Okay, so we untap. Even more Goblin Engineers. We'll play a Goblin Engineer. Huldra complete. Hit you with the Engineer. Well, we didn't draw the land anyway. Esper Sentinel, sure. Do we let our opponent draw a card? That is the question. I mean, they missed their land drop. Sigarda's Aid. I think we gotta let it go. Like, the amount of damage we can deal with a Colossal Hammer is, I think, worth giving our opponent a single card. Go attacking. No blocks. Well, I mean, we're going for it. Colossal Hammer. On an Engineer. Yes, please. Okay, let's see what... We did give our opponent a free card. Portable Hole. I assume going for the... Well, we'll see. Goes for the Engineer. Sure. Can we draw a land? No, a Stoneforge. Well, in that case, Stoneforge Mystic. Grab a Cauldron Complete. Hit you with the Engineer. Well, for being stuck on 2 lands, we're not doing poorly. So our opponent needs to answer the Stoneforge to avoid this Cauldron Complete. All right, Atwara. Thopter Foundry. That doesn't do it though, right? Unless they can like kill the Cauldron Complete. That might do it. Forge Anew. Well, 1/2. Stoneforge Mystic. Cauldron Complete. No. Well, let's see if they got an answer. Go to combat. Swing. Okay, they sack, but that doesn't save them, right? They block, and they still die? All right, Exaxes. Well, that was a battle of opponent on the mulligan and us not drawing lands. Oh, it was coming. All right, well, opponent has a lot of annoying answers. That's for sure. I kind of wish we had more. You know what? Esper Sentinel seems kind of absurd now that we see what our opponent's doing. And this is probably not correct, but World Slayer's coming back in. All those portable holes hanging around. I don't think we want to deal with those. So we're gonna bring back in. We're gonna bring back in the World Slayer. This is its last shot to really shine. Go down to Epicure. You know what? Let's go down the last Giver of Runes. Let's run it like that. All right, here we go. Game 3. This is for the 5-0 with Forge Anew. Can we get the 5-0 against Urza Thopter Sword? This hand isn't really close to going off, but it does have a lot of Esper Sentinels. And our mana's decent, which is nice. Well, Inspiring Vantage and Esper Sentinel. Well, this is one of those draws where Sigarda's Aid is probably our best top deck opponent. See Chrome Coast and Stoneforge Mystic. All right, opponents on the equipment plan. Are they going for the combo? Or are they going for the beatdowns? Cauldron Complete. Okay, well, we will play a Esper Sentinel, play an Urza Saga, play a Relic of Progenitus, pass the turn. This is going to be close. Opponent, tap land, Cauldron Complete. That's a clock. That's a clock. Gets in for 5. Not triggering our Esper Sentinel, sadly. How about Sigarda's Aid? Well, okay, so we will take up Urza Saga, play Inspiring Vantage, go to combat, hit you for 2. Yeah, I think we gotta make a construct. I think our best bet is make a construct and then Shadow Sphere it to gain a bunch of life. Oh no. Oh dear, that's a lot of Stone Forges. Okay. What else does our opponent have to get? Nettle Cyst. Opponent goes to combat. Opponent attacks. Well, let's see if they play around this Urza Saga. That's going to be the big question. Opponent hits us. Down to 10 for now. Well, we will make a construct. World Slayer. Yeah, we got to try to gain life, right? I think. Yeah, float a mana. Opponent's going to Nettle Cyst. We are going to get Pithing Needle. Nettle Cyst. Play a Shadow Sphere, equip the Shadow Sphere, get in for 7, gain 7. So back up to 17 for now. Play the tap land, pass the turn. Reality Chip, so many equipment. Are we Reality Chip equip? So if our opponent leaves back the Cauldron Complete, we can't really attack. Esper Sentinel, opponent goes to combat, opponent gets in with the Germ. Down to 11. Well, we might as well eat a card from the graveyard. Untap. We draw planes. Well, play the land. 1, 2, and 3. Seasoned Pyromancer. Discard a couple cards. Play an Esper Sentinel. Pass the turn. Yeah, we can't attack because of the Germ. This Reality Chip letting our opponent play off the top is a concern. On the other hand, our opponent playing non-creatures is going to be tough. There's the equip. Untap down to 8. Passes. That could win us this game. Well, I think, okay, so play Esper Sentinel first. They could have a counter. Esper Sentinel number 4. And then March of Otherworldly Light. Going after the Germ. Pay the 1. Do you have a counter? Okay, opponent has Metallic Rebuke. However, we are going to get to draw multiple cards here, which is good. This is big for our opponent because it does keep their germ alive. Okay, we get an Epicure and an Epicure. So opponent counters, we can't pay the 3. Well, we will Epicure Pena. Exile. Can we win by swinging with everything? So this gets eaten. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, not yet. Okay, pass the turn. Oh, that March was so close to being lethal. Are you going to pay the 4? No, oh, wow. Okay, they're not. They're just letting us draw everything? Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Okay, that's Aether Spellbomb. That can bounce something. Ingenious Smith. We did find the Forge Anew. Opponent finds a Esper Sentinel. Land. Untap down to 5. Esper Sentinel. What do you got? Talisman. 1 card in hand. Active Reality Chip. These Esper Sentinels are doing some work here. Just get to block with the Construct? Oh, is opponent gonna bounce? Okay, they bounce the Construct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so we will block. Opponent passes. We draw Forge Anew. 1, 2, 3. I mean, we got to go for it, right? We got to go for it. Forge Anew. We will pay for 1. Opponent draws. Can't pay for that one. Get back the hammer. Wow. Okay. Opponent tears the Forge Anew. Staying alive. We draw a million cards. Forge Anew down for now. We get back the hammer. Opponent has found all the answers, that's for sure. Well, exile a card from the graveyard. Opponent's at 4. Opponent currently has no flyers. Sacred Foundry untapped. Voldaren Epicure Pena. Pass the turn. What do you got this time? Teferi Time Raveler. We draw infinite cards. Okay. Teferi bounces the Pithing Needle. Oh no! Is this how our 5-0 dream dies? That's a 13-13. I think that's how it dies. Actually, I guess it's again going to depend if our opponent has an answer. Do they have lethal? Is this just straight up lethal? We might be dead. I mean, it's also going to depend on their hand. They could still have more counters. And they have the Teferi for protection. All right, opponent swings with everything. So, 1, we die. Wow. We're at 9. What a way to lose the 5-0. Oh my goodness. That is always the worst. Losing the 5-0 on the last match is the worst feeling. Although I will say, our opponent had to have like several perfect answers that game to survive. And then they also had to have that Teferi on the top of their deck. So it's hard to feel like, I'm sure there's things we could have done better, but it's hard to feel too bad about that one. Like, they just, every time we had them, they had the counter spell the first time, they had the Wear Tear on the top of the deck the second time, Teferi on the top of the deck to actually be able to attack for lethal. So, I mean, I guess on one hand, Reality Chip was really helpful for our opponent. It was a very close, great game. So, sad to lose the 5-0, but at least we lost in an incredibly close game. Well, consolation prize, 5 treasure chests. Ooh, Dranith Ruins, eh? Not as good as the 5-0, but a 4-1. We'll take the 4-1 dream. Necrotic Plague, or boy, these are so far so bad for the treasure chests. Apparently, you got to get the 5-0 to get the real treasure chest. Marauding Raptor, Yoshi. Yoshi's a cool card. Pickles Lock. There's so many cool decks that they're just too slow to function in Modern Magic. Lich's Mastery and 35. So far, 35 play points is our best open. Wow, what duds of chess. Come on, Magic Gods. Speaking of cards that used to be good, Sword of Temptation. There was a time when Sword of Temptation was like a chase card. Storage Matrix. Pretty janky. Well, I think we learned that Forge Anew is really good. And I think the deck is actually really good. Sadly, the 5-0 Dream died in the most brutal fashion. But that was a really interesting league. So yeah, Forge Anew seems pretty legit. And I mean, I guess we might as well just do that. What's the point in firing up another wrap up? We might as well just do it right here. Like, so I think this card really does matter. There was some debate. Is it worth it? Is it too slow? Blah, 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 blah. Throw all that out the window. the fact that you can all of a sudden Argentum armor and do all these shenanigans that just did not exist before, I think that totally makes it worth it. Like, I think this is a card that creates new archetypes in Modern, and we saw it. We didn't really get to see World Slayer go off in this league, and World Slayer is honestly like a very janky sometimes card, but we definitely got to see Argentum armor be really powerful. We got to see Reanimating Cauldron Complete be really powerful. We got to see Forge Anew's instant speed equipping be really powerful. So I think that Forge Anew, like, sure, yes, it is slower than the Sigardizate or whatever. Like, yes, you're not going to kill on turn 2 as often, but you don't have to kill on turn. I don't know where this like conception is about Modern that you have to kill on turn 2 for your deck to be good. Like, no, like, yes, Modern is faster than it used to be, but there's an upside to being able to resiliently kill on turn 3 or turn 4 and also play this long game, which Forge Anew allows that you can't really play as well if you're not playing Forge Anew. So I think, yes, even though you're going to be slower than like the tier hammer time list, I think the upside of Forge Anew, the ability to go long, the ability to fight through your opponent's disruption, the ability to play through Chalice of the Void, all those upsides, I think make the slower plan worth it. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how the list ended. World Slayer is definitely our against the odds card. I don't think you would necessarily play this optimally. It is really funny though. Sadly, we never really got to see it work, and it does have the issue that you still got to deal combat damage. It does work well with Forge Anew. Like, if you can go super wide, then you can put the World Slayer on an unblocked creature and then get in the hit with it. There's not really a super big synergy for that. We do have Blacksmith skill in our sideboard. Ideally, we'll have a Cauldron Complete because that survives since it's indestructible. But it is kind of like the reset button, so it doesn't actually work that often. And even when it works, it doesn't necessarily win unless you also have Cauldron Complete. So that's a card that's probably not like, optimal in the deck. That's our fun of against the odds card. But the rest of the deck, I think I would run it back more or less as is. I will say the other thing I was really debating with this deck is Seasoned Pyromancer versus Fable the Mirrorbreaker. I think you really want, and that's one of the other things I like about this deck is Seasoned Pyromancer also is a really good, like, go long stabilized card. We saw that against Living End, just like putting bodies on the battlefield, filling the graveyard, digging for our payoffs. Plus it works with Forge Anew to get our big stuff in the graveyard. So I really like that we have these more resilient cards. I don't know if Seasoned Pyromancer or Fable is better, honestly. The argument for Seasoned Pyromancer is it's more impactful right away. You play it, you get the tokens, you get the rummaging right away. Fable the Mirrorbreaker is better long term. The problem with Fable is you don't get the looting right away, so that's kind of an issue. There's times when you really want to get the Cauldron Complete or Argentum armor in the graveyard, and if you have Fable, it's possible you play it and your opponent blows it up and you don't actually get to fill your graveyard. Seasoned Pyromancer are also better in the late game where you can potentially play it and Forge Anew all in the same turn and like reanimate and go off. So I don't know. I like Seasoned Pyromancer, but I can't see arguments for Fable. Otherwise, I think the shell's like pretty good. Engineer's great. There's probably something you could do to like more embrace the engineer plan. I don't know if it's worth it to play random like spell bombs. You could move Pithing Needle in the main deck. Now that we have Urza's Saga and also engineer, it does kind of push you towards playing like a package of cheap artifacts that you can loop from your graveyard. So maybe depending on that, maybe it's worth like playing the Pithing Needle in the main deck. Maybe the Relic could show up in the main deck. Like now that we have so many ways of finding that card with Saga and Goblin Engineer, maybe it's worth it. The question is, what do you cut? How do you find room? So I like that. I mean, I guess you can cut the World Slayer, sadly, but the question is, what do you cut for? How do you make room for those cards? So I like the idea of it, but in practice, I'm not exactly sure what you cut to get it in the deck. But anyway, Forge Anew, Reanimating Argentum armor, Reanimating Batterer Skulls, World Slayer's Cauldron Complete. It seems pretty legit. I think this card's actually legit good. And I do think now that we've got to play it, I think this can have a really big impact on Modern. Like, we just missed the 5-0 and we punted along the way. And this is just like the very first build of the deck. So if we're doing that well already, there's probably a chance that it ends up being pretty good. So anyway, that's Forge Anew. That's a bunch of big commandery equipment in Modern. That's been our deck for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it. And I will talk to you soon.